What topics can you expect in your IELTS listening test? Let's take a look at the 4 parts of the IELTS listening test in detail and practice with some sample questions. Hello and welcome. My name is Claire, and in this British Council IELTS preparation video, we're going to look at the IELTS listening test. We'll focus on the topics that you might see, the 4 parts of the paper, and work on some practice questions together. Let's start by quickly going over what to expect on test day. The listening test lasts around 30 minutes and includes 4 recordings, each with a different set of questions. 10 questions per recording, making a total of 40 questions. Don't worry, there'll be brief pauses between recordings to allow you to read the questions and check your answers. If you're taking the IELTS on paper test, you'll write your answers on the question paper while listening, and at the end there's a dedicated 10-minute window for you to transfer responses to the official answer sheet. If you're taking the IELTS on computer, you have 2 minutes at the end to check your answers. You'll hear a range of different accents including Australian, British, New Zealand and North American in the IELTS listening test. It's important to note that each recording is played only once. Because you'll only hear the recording once, knowing what to expect is very important. Parts 1 and 2 deal with everyday social situations, whereas part 3 and 4 deal with education and training situations. So what topics might we hear? Social situations and daily life is one topic that may appear in the IELTS test. You might hear things such as everyday talks about plans, meetings, and social engagements. In education, you could hear conversations between students and tutors, academic discussions, and maybe even a lecture. Descriptions of courses, educational programs, and campus facilities may also be presented. For work, you might encounter simulations of job interviews, workplace discussions, and meetings to see how well you handle professional situations. Another topic you could hear is travel and tourism. This may include discussions about travel plans and bookings and tourist info and recommendations. You might hear discussions about health and health-related matters. Think of things such as appointments or medical conditions people have. You could also hear information related to well-being, such as fitness programs, wellness centers, or health services. In technology and science, the test may incorporate lectures or discussions on scientific topics, technological advancements, innovations, and research in various fields. Let's talk about another topic, transportation. There could be talks about public and private transportation, along with directions and travel schedules. Another common topic is the environment. So there could be discussions about conservation efforts, sustainability, and eco-friendly practices. They might talk about climate change, pollution, and taking care of our planet. Lastly, we may also hear about archaeological excavations, as they commonly feature in part 4. Think of these topics like big categories. To get ready for the IELTS listening test, practice with different materials on these topics. Also, work on listening to different accents and speaking styles. It'll make things easier. There are many topics that may appear, and the content may be different, but the types of conversations you will hear will often be the same. So what can we expect from the 4 parts of the listening test? Let's take a closer look. In part 1 of the IELTS listening test, you will hear a social conversation. This is a conversation between 2 people in a typical everyday social situation. Usually this will involve some kind of transaction. This may be someone buying or asking about a product or service. Some examples of situations that you may hear are someone buying a new laptop or a student inquiring about an English course at a language school. Let's look at a part 1 question.
Good morning, Travel Link. How can I help you?
Good morning. I live in Bayswater and I'd like to get to Harbour City tomorrow before 11 a.m.
Well, to get to Bayswater...
No, I live in Bayswater. My destination is Harbour City.
Oh, sorry, right. So that's Bayswater to Harbour City. Are you planning to travel by bus or train?
In part 2 of the IELTS listening test, you will hear a monologue. This means you will only hear one person speaking, providing information about a product, location, or service. Some examples of situations that you may hear are someone describing locations on a map for university students, or you may hear a person giving information about a running club. Let's look at a part 2 question.
Hello everyone, I'm the Counselling Administrator here at St Ives College, and I've been asked to come and talk to you about our counselling team and the services that we offer. We have 3 professional counsellors here at St Ives, Louise Bagshaw, Tony Denby and Naomi Flynn. They each hold daily one-on-one sessions with students, but which counsellor you see will depend on a number of factors. If you've never used a counsellor before, then you should make an appointment with Naomi Flynn. Naomi specialises in seeing new students and offers a preliminary session where she will talk to you about what you can expect from counselling, followed by some simple questions about what you would like to discuss. This can be really helpful for students who are feeling a bit worried about the counselling process. Naomi is also the best option for students who can only see a counsellor outside office hours. She is not in on Mondays but starts early on Wednesday mornings and works late on Thursday evenings, so you can see her before your first class or after your last class on those days. Louise staffs our drop-in centre throughout the day. If you need to see someone without a prior appointment, then she is the one to visit. Please note that if you use this service, then Louise will either see you herself or place you with the next available counsellor. If you want to be sure to see the same counsellor on each visit, then we strongly recommend you make an appointment ahead of time. You can do this at reception during office hours or by using our online booking form. Tony is our newest addition to the counselling team. He is our only male counsellor, and he has an extensive background in stress management and relaxation techniques. We encourage anyone who is trying to deal with anxiety to see him. Tony will introduce you to a full range of techniques to help you cope with this problem, such as body awareness, time management, and positive reinforcement.
In part 3 of the IELTS listening test, you will hear an academic conversation. These conversations take place in a training situation or educational setting. They can be between a maximum of 4 people. Some examples of situations that you may hear are an employee discussing a presentation with their 2 co-workers, or 4 university students discussing how to prepare for an exam. Let's look at a part 3 question.
Hello, Lorna, Ian. Glad you could make it. You're the only 2 who put your names down for this literature tutorial, so let's get started, shall we? I want to run over some aspects of the novel The Secret Garden with you before the test next week. Be sure to take some notes and ask questions if you need to.
Hey, Lorna, have you got a spare pen?
Sure, here you are.
OK, so the story follows 2 key characters. You should refer to them as protagonists, who go by the names of Mary Lennox and Colin Craven. The story is set shortly after the turn of the 20th century, and the narrative tracks the development of the protagonists as they learn to overcome their own personal troubles together.
That's quite a common storyline, isn't it?
Yes, you're right, Lorna. So what can you tell me about the character of Mary?
Well, in the beginning, she is an angry, rude child who was orphaned after a cholera outbreak and forced to leave India and move to the United Kingdom to her uncle's house in Yorkshire.
That's right. And there she meets Colin, who spends his days in an isolated room, believing himself to be permanently crippled, with no hope of ever gaining the ability to walk. The 2 strike up a friendship, and gradually learn, by encouraging each other, that they can both become healthy, happy and fulfilled in life.
Will we need to remember a lot of these details for the exam?
Just the basic outline. Examiners don't want to read a plot summary. They know what the book is about.
In part 4 of the IELTS listening test, you will hear an academic lecture. There is one person speaking, such as a professor or lecturer. and they will be discussing academic topics. Some examples of situations that you may hear are a talk about social media among young people or a talk about the environment and coral reefs. Let's look at a Part 4 question.
You might ask, how do these time zones affect our lives? Well, let's start at the beginning. Everyone is brought into this world as a present hedonist. No exceptions. Our initial needs and demands, to be warm, secure, fed, and watered, all stem from the present moment. But things change when we enter formal education. We're taught to stop existing in the moment and to begin thinking about future outcomes. But did you know that every 9 seconds, a child in the USA drops out of school? For boys, the rate is much higher than for girls. We could easily say, well, boys just aren't as bright as girls. But the evidence doesn't support this. A recent study states that boys in America, by the age of 21, have spent 10,000 hours playing video games. The research suggests that they'll never fit in the traditional classroom because these boys require a situation where they have the ability to manage their own learning environment.
Now it's time to practice. You will hear 4 short practice questions related to each part. Remember, this is just a small sample of the longer version of the IELTS listening test. We'll share the answers with you in the description. You are going to listen to 4 sample sections of a listening test. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The practice test is in 4 sections. Section 1. You will hear a conversation between a clerk at the inquiries desk of a transport company and a man who is asking for travel information. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good morning, Travel Link. How can I help you?
Good morning. I live in Bayswater and I'd like to get to Harbour City tomorrow before 11 a.m.
Well, to get to Bayswater...
No, I live in Bayswater. My destination is Harbour City.
Oh, sorry. Right, so that's Bayswater to Harbour City. Are you planning to travel by bus or train?
I don't mind, really. Whichever option is faster, I suppose.
Well, if you catch a railway express, that'll get you there in under an hour. Let's see. Yes, if you can make the 9:30 a.m. express, I'd recommend you do that.
Great. Which station does that leave from?
Helendale is the nearest train station to you.
Did you say Helensvale?
No, Helendale. That's Helendale.
What's the best way to get to the Helendale station then?
Well, hang on a minute while I look into that. Now, it seems to me that you have 2 options. Option 1 would be to take the 7:06 bus from the Bayswater Shopping Centre to Central Street. When you get there, you transfer to another bus which will take you to the station. Or the second option, if you don't mind walking a couple of kilometres, is to go directly to Central Street and get straight on the bus going to the train station.
OK, which bus is that?
The 792 will take you to the station.
I guess the walk will be good for me, so that might be the better option. What time do I catch the 792?
There are 2 buses that should get you to the station on time, one just before 9 o'clock and one just after. But look, at that time of the morning it might be better to take the earlier one, just in case there's a traffic jam or something. The 8:55 is probably safer than the 9:05.
Yeah, I don't want to miss the train, so I'll be sure to get on the 5 to 9 bus.
That is the end of section 1. You now have 15 seconds to check your answers. Section 2.
You will hear a guidance counsellor talking to a group of students. First, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 11. Listen carefully and answer questions 6 to 11.
Each semester, the counselling team runs a number of small group workshops. These last for 2 hours and are free to all enrolled students. Our first workshop is called Adjusting. We've found that tertiary education can come as a big shock for some people. After the structured learning environment of school, it is easy to feel lost. In this workshop, we will introduce you to what is necessary for academic success. As you might expect, we're targeting first-year students with this offering. Getting organised follows on from the first workshop. Here, we're going to help you break the habit of putting things off, get the most out of your time, and discover the right balance between academic and recreational activities. With Getting Organised, we're catering to a broader crowd, which includes all undergraduates and postgraduates. Next up is a workshop called Communicating. The way people interact here may be quite different to what you're used to, especially if you've come from abroad. We'll cover an area that many foreign students struggle with: how to talk with teachers and other staff. We'll cover all aspects of multicultural communication. International students tend to get a lot out of this class, so we particularly encourage you to come along. But I must say that sometimes students from a local background find it helpful too. So, everyone is welcome. The anxiety workshop is held later on in the year and deals with something you will all be familiar with: the nerves and anxiety that come when exams are approaching. Many students go through their entire academic careers suffering like this, but you don't have to. Come to this workshop and we'll teach you all about relaxation and how to breathe properly, as well as meditation and other strategies to remain calm. We've tailored this workshop to anyone who is going to sit exams. Finally, we have the motivation workshop. The big topic here is how to stay on target and motivated during long-term research projects. This workshop is strictly for research students, as less advanced students already have several workshops catering to their needs. Well, that's it. Thanks for your time. If you have any questions or want more information about our services, do come and see us at the counselling service.
That is the end of section 2. You now have 15 seconds to check your answers. Section 3. You will hear a conversation between a tutor and 2 students who are preparing for an English literature test. First, you have some time to look at questions 12 to 17. Listen carefully and answer questions 12 to 17.
Won't it be hard to write a technical analysis? After all, it's a kid's book.
Well, it was initially pitched at adults, you know. But over the years it has become seen as a more youth-orientated work. And you're right in a sense. The simple vocabulary and absence of foreshadowing make the story very easy to follow and ideally suited for children. But that doesn't mean there isn't much to analyse. Look at the symbolism, for instance.
Symbols are things, right? Material things like objects that stand for abstract ideas.
Absolutely, yes. And the author uses many of them. There's the robin redbreast, for example, which symbolises the wise and gentle nature that Mary will soon adopt. Note that the robin is described as not at all like the birds in India. Roses are used as well, as a personal symbol for Mistress Craven. You'll see they're always mentioned alongside her name, and Mistress Craven's portrait can also be interpreted as a symbol of her spirit.
Are symbols just another name for motifs?
No, motifs are a bit different. They don't have as direct a connection with something the way that a symbol does. Motifs are simply recurring elements of the story that support the mood.
Are there any in this novel?
Yes, two very important ones. The Garden of Eden is a motif. It comes up a few times in connection with the garden of the story. And then you've got the role that secrets play in the story. In the beginning, everything is steeped in secrecy, and slowly the characters share their secrets, and in the process move from darkness to lightness, metaphorically, but also, in the case of Colin, quite literally. His room in the beginning has the curtains drawn, and he appears at the end in the brightness of the garden.
Anything else we need to know about?
Yes. Nearly all novels explore universal concepts that everyone has experienced. Things like love, family, loneliness, friendship. These are called themes. The Secret Garden has a few themes that all centre on the idea of connections. The novel explores, for example, the way that health can determine and be determined by our outlook on life. As Colin's health improves, so too do his perceptions of his strength and possibility. The author also examines the link between our environment and our physical and emotional prosperity. The dark, cramped rooms of the manor house stifle the development of our protagonists. The garden and natural environments allow them to blossom, just as the flowers do. Finally, this book looks at connections between individuals, namely Mary and Colin. This necessity of human companionship is the novel's most significant theme, because none of their development as individuals would have occurred without their knowing each other. Well, that about sums it up, I think.
That's a great help, thanks.
Yes, thanks very much.
That is the end of section 3. You now have 15 seconds to check your answers. Section 4. You will hear a talk on the topic of time perspectives. You will have some time to look at questions 18 to 22. Listen carefully and answer questions 18 to 22.
Today, I'm going to be talking about time. Specifically, I'll be looking at how people think about time and how these time perspectives structure our lives. According to social psychologists, there are 6 ways of thinking about time, which are called personal time zones. The first 2 are based in the past. Past positive thinkers spend most of their time in a state of nostalgia, fondly remembering moments such as birthdays, marriages, and important achievements in their life. These are the kinds of people who keep family records, books, and photo albums. People living in the past negative time zone are also absorbed by earlier times, but they focus on all the bad things, regrets, failures, poor decisions. They spend a lot of time thinking about how life could have been. Then, we have people who live in the present. Present hedonists are driven by pleasure and immediate sensation. Their life motto is to have a good time and avoid pain. Present fatalists live in the moment too, but they believe this moment is the product of circumstances entirely beyond their control. It's their fate, whether it's poverty, religion, or society itself. Something stops these people from believing they can play a role in changing their outcomes in life. Life simply is, and that's that. Looking at the future time zone, we can see that people classified as future active are the planners and go-getters. They work rather than play and resist temptation. Decisions are made based on potential consequences, not on the experience itself. A second future-orientated perspective, future fatalistic, is driven by the certainty of life after death and some kind of a judgment day when they will be assessed on how virtuously they have lived and what success they have had in their lives.
That is the end of section 4. You now have 15 seconds to check your answers. That is the end of the practice sample questions. Don't forget the actual listening test has more questions and has different timing. Be sure to practice with a full listening paper to understand the structure and timing.
How did you do? Don't forget to check your answers and let us know in the comments how many you got correct. So let's recap. The test is made up of 4 parts, each presenting different situations. Part 1 involves a conversation between 2 people in an everyday situation. Part 2 features one person providing information about a product, location, or service in relation to everyday social situations. Part 3 consists of a discussion between up to 4 people in an educational or training context. Part 4 is a talk, usually by a professor or lecturer on an academic topic. While you're preparing, make sure to work on the topics discussed in this video. So get ready to ace your listening test. Practice with listening questions, get used to a range of accents, and dive into vocab related to common topics. If you need some further listening practice, then sign up for IELTS Ready member and get access to free practice tests. There are also useful tips to help you on your IELTS test and the opportunity to improve your vocabulary with additional activities. You can find the link in the description. Thanks for watching. If you'd like more videos to prepare for your IELTS test, then why not look at these?